is a lot here, a lot.
Mm.
And some of the reaction was, oh my God, I can't believe they did that. They're tied for the second best record in the NBA. How do you fire your coach in the middle of the first season when you have such a great record? There's a lot more going on, a lot more. And it started even before they played a game. Like, it started between Terry Stotts and Adrian Griffin, and Stotts resigned before the season even started. Like, Griffin felt he was trying to undermine him, and Stotts was Lillard's guy that they brought in, and Lillard wasn't even supposed to be part of the plan. But when you have that opportunity, you go and make that sort of a move. Defense, way worse, way worse. Since Christmas. Like, okay, if you look at the year, defensive rating last year, they were number 4. Top notch, bordering on elite. This year, 22nd. Since Christmas, 27th. Like, they're winning, but they understand that they're not going to win a championship that way. And that's what I go back to, Aaron. I keep going back to, is it right? Is it the wrong decision? Well, the Stars hate him. They've had problems since before the season started. He changed up the scheme, and the players wanted the other scheme, and he went back to the other way. And so he gave in there very early in the process. That's still not working. I asked myself, are you going to win a championship with Adrian Griffin? And it's a resounding no. So I commend them on making this move and not wasting a season.
Do you remember on the show, Joe, when I said, could the problem be Giannis? Remember when there's all this drama with the team, then they fired Budenholzer, now he wants Adrian Griffin gone. At some point, the star players can't be making all these decisions as well. Maybe he needs to look in the mirror. But I don't know what's going on. I do know that when I covered the Mavs, Adrian Griffin was a player, one of the nicest dudes on the planet. And I've covered some dirt bags, so I never got creepy vibes from him. So I'm thinking I would be shocked if there was some behind the scenes HR thing going on here. I think he's probably a nice guy, not going to win them a championship. And they have such good talent that they're getting by right now, but come playoff time, this just ain't it. And I agree. I think it is the right decision, but also you can't be getting rid of coaches every 6 months. What are we doing here?
Jimmy and D Haslam own 25% of the Milwaukee Bucks now. Nothing Jimmy and D Haslam have ever touched has ever come about smoothly, right? Pilot Flying J has had lawsuits against it. They've had to pay millions of dollars in fines to the government for trying to bilk people out of rebates and refunds. Let's not forget, this is the guy who owned the Browns during their most recent run of extraordinary futility, including an 0-16 season, and the ownership group that decided, you know what? Let's mortgage the future of the franchise for Deshaun Watson. And we see how well that's worked out. My theory, I know he's only a minority stakeholder in this team, but anything Jimmy Haslam touches turns to garbage. And Giannis is really one of the few compasses, I think, in that organization. And to your point, Aaron, when you don't have a lot of people inside the organization who are saying, no, this is how we're going to do things. Budenholzer, as much as he may have fallen short in his last 2 years there, each spring he lost to an eventual NBA Finals participant, right? He wasn't losing. I understand the Heat but the Heat got hot, and they, no pun intended, ran to the NBA Finals. He wasn't losing to terrible teams, and so they ran Budenholzer off because they don't have anyone else to guide the organization short of Giannis. And Giannis is starting to get to the point where I'm sure he's frustrated, and now that knee-jerk reaction of, oh, well, this isn't working. You heard him complain about the defense after that loss to the Cavs last month, right? Giannis sitting up there on the podium talking about how nobody has any pride in the defense. Giannis is the only compass for this organization. So if Giannis wants to throw the baby out with the bathwater and fire Griffin and tell him to bring somebody else in, that might end up being what they do, because this organization has no compass. It has no direction anymore. They've let themselves go from a team that should have been on the rise and competing every single year to a team that now can't even figure out who their coach is going to be every 3 or 4 months.
I just spoke with my wife, and we've decided I'm ready to go back into coaching. I will accept the Bucks position. So we've made a decision right from the college ranks to doing pre and post with the Wizards to the head coach of the Bucks. I know I can handle it because they have 2 of the top 10 players in the league. I think it's one of the more interesting. That was a joke, everyone who's listening. But what do I think? I think Joe Prunty's a really good guy. He's done this before because he stepped in when Jason Kidd was gone. But they had 3 bad losses. They lost to, like, the Cavs, the Jazz. They gave up a bunch of points to the Pistons. It's a mess. They have a much tougher schedule coming up. So the average person thinks, oh, they're 30-13. What are you doing? If Giannis isn't happy, if Middleton's not happy, and if Dame's not happy, and I don't know that for a fact who it was, you cannot continue down that road when your window is closing. Look, the Celtics, Porzingis, Tatum, they got a nice little group there. I was just up in Boston. I was up for the high school, had the, Cooper Flagg, Ace Bailey. They're all coming. Well, they were in Springfield. Brad Stevens is there. So you get a lot of buzz about how the Celtics are in a good place. Then you start to hear that the Bucks are not in a great place, that the Knicks might want to get another backup center, but OG Anunoby, they feel they won that trade, so they're coming. Are the Cavs waking up? We don't know until the Cavs can win in the playoffs. Pacers make a big trade. There's the Bucks. Well, they're the second best team. Vegas has them as the second best odds. They're starting to give up a lot of points. They lose 3 bad games in 2 weeks. They beat the Pistons, okay, but they gave up a ton of points. You can't waste this 1.5 to 2.5 year window if that's what you think it is.
I think it's time to close them up when I get to the one that says 1-1, the Bears select Bo Nix. Like, okay, we need to close up shop here. Like, we're good for the day. I've seen enough. Now we can move on. Now we can move on to the more
from the browser
reputable
history.
Yeah, the more reputable mock drafts that are out there. I did find one. Our lads, their most recent mock draft, they put Marvin Harrison Jr. 1-1. I thought it was pretty interesting. So if he's the guy you have circled, what do you do if you're at 1? Now, when you don't have a quarterback or you're unsure of a quarterback going into year 4, you really have the answer on Justin Fields. But if he's the target, what do you move down to? Where can you go to get your guy? If you go to 4, I'm not sure that he's going to be there. He might be gone. But like that's something because a lot of Bears fans have him targeted. But with the Shane Waldron hire at offensive coordinator, the thinking is a couple lines. Now, if Eberflus is not the guy, did you bring in a guy that could step in? Possibly. I'm very surprised with the move. I'm positive about it. And the natural question in town has been, what does this mean for Fields? Does this mean they are more likely to trade for a haul to someone that really wants Caleb Williams like they did last year with Carolina and the Bryce Young move? Or does that mean that they're going to go forward, move on from Fields, take Caleb at 1-1? I think the latter. I think the more we get into this, ever since the season has ended, some of the moves that they've made, the chatter that I've heard, it looks like it's going to be Caleb at 1-1. You can't be the Bears, the team that has forever been looking for the quarterback, and you mess up on Mahomes, you trade up and you took the wrong guy in Trubisky. You trade out of 1-1 to not take a quarterback. You didn't take Jalen Carter because of a character issue, and you let Houston jump up and take Stroud. Would they have taken Stroud? I don't know. And then people think Caleb Williams is going to be an all-timer, and then you're going to pass that guy up too, and you're still not sure about your quarterback. You can't do all that. Like at some point, time to take a stand. And I don't know the way that defense played next year. If they keep their pick, like, are they going to be in a position to get the best quarterback? Not sure. They are in that position this year. I think they keep the 1. I think they take Caleb.
I actually did look at Auburn at Alabama. This was at 2.5, now 3.5. There are some 4s out there. The total 161.5, 162.5, depending on where you do your shopping. Now, Alabama 12-6 on the season, number 8 in Ken Palm, but Bama number 1 in adjusted offense. However, it's the other side. Their defense, number 64 in Ken Palm. So maybe with 2 top 10 offenses, you want to look at an over here. I liked Alabama, but now this number's climbing, so I'm not sure if I'm going to bet Alabama on the side. could be a close game, like Joe was saying, some of these road teams. What do you think, Joe? Did you look at this one?
I did actually. I like Bama. There's a reason that they were installed as the favorite. Now the market agrees. They're backing Alabama, I think, for a few good reasons. Now, we talked about it a little bit yesterday. Auburn hasn't played anybody. They haven't played anybody all year. They have 16 wins, right? They don't have a win over a top 40 team. Not top 25 team, top 40 team if you're looking at the KenPom rankings. And you've got Bama coming off a bad road loss by 20 at Tennessee. Now, Tennessee's a great team. Like, you're not going to kill a team for going on the road and losing at Tennessee. But when you look at that game, 4 for 21 on threes, Bama was. Like, I don't see that repeating now that they're coming back home. So I like Bama. I like it. I don't know how much higher this is going to climb, but at 3.5, I'm okay laying it. Yeah, obviously the better number. That was some value there. It's -2.5, but I do like Bama in this spot.
While you guys laugh hysterically at the headshot that Gertch put up next to my power rankings, there it is. It's beautiful, isn't it?
What is that from? I've seen that. What is going on?
They made all of us sit in the stands at PNC Park for a photo shoot.
Oh, God.
And
did I see that in Barrett Sports Media?
Yeah,
I think I did.
I could not.
Go ahead.
Focus.
It looks like they're trying to recreate a scene from Moneyball, and it went horribly wrong.
Yes, that is.
That's exactly what it is.
I was
trying to figure it out.
Swing, and you did not disappoint.
And it's a promotions guy probably taking the picture with his phone, right? I mean,
yeah, he's like, "Hey, look out towards the skyline. Now look back at me."
What's that called? Rack focus or something? When it's like blurry in the background? I don't know, but it's amazing.
Yeah,
I'm here for it.
It's something.
I don't think we should use it again because I couldn't focus at all
lost
through one fruit.
In a positive or negative way?
Look, I'm just selling. If I can't sell your home, I'll buy it directly from you and then rent it out, okay?
I'm not selling to that guy. You look so slimy.
You look like the type.
Wait, hold on, Mr. Sword Fight. Hold on. I'm the weirdo now?
Yeah.
Wow.
You look like the divorced dad who just saw somebody else's kid screw up on the field and you're about to let the other kid's parent know about it.